And welcome back to Legally Speaking with the McLario Firm. Today we're going to talk about guardianship. It is a legal term for a court-appointed person, a guardian, who makes decisions for someone who is not able to care for themselves, such as a young child or someone who's incapacitated or has a disability. Mike Jerominski is an attorney with the McLario Firm, and he is here to tell us more about the benefits. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be here.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are familiar with the term guardianship just because of Britney Spears and it being in the news so much. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about people who get into a conversation with someone like you, an attorney, about guardianship. Why is it something that comes up?
Well, a lot of times people might have a degenerative mental disability or something like that. They may have a developmental disability, and these are generally people who aren't, really the best at making decisions for themselves.
So it has to do with someone who's maybe got a disability, like you mentioned. There's some type of decline sometimes too, where they're not able to make decisions for themselves. So someone else assumes the legal responsibility for making decisions in their stead.
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk about who can petition for guardianship.
Basically, anyone who is over the age of 18 can petition to be a guardian for a person. The person is called the ward. Also, there are corporate guardians out there. If there's not an actual person available to be a guardian for a ward.
Do parents ever need to be appointed as a guardian? Because a lot of us just think we naturally can make decisions for our kids no matter what their age is.
Yes, I think that's a common misconception. But when your child turns 18, they're legally an adult. So just before they turn 18 is really the best time to start thinking about setting up guardianship for them, so that they're cared for.
Tell us a little bit about what the process is like. Does it take quite a while for guardianship to be established?
It takes about 3 months. By statute, once you file a petition, it has to happen in 90 days. And the process is, as I said, filing the petition. There will be what's called a guardian ad litem appointed by the court to come into the home and examine the proposed ward and see what their needs are. And also, the proposed ward has to get a doctor's examination or a psychologist's examination.
An independent evaluation of some sort?
Yes, and the judge overseeing the guardianship will actually rely very heavily on that medical evaluation.
Do you ever find that guardianship is sometimes something that someone objects to? Does that happen?
On rare occasions, yes, it does happen. Obviously, the proposed ward retains the right to get an attorney to basically fight the guardianship that's being proposed for them.
Yeah, you mentioned that it's a process that takes 3 months. So you said that there are certain rights that the ward has, so they could hire their own attorney. Then what type of rights does the guardian have?
Typically, the guardian will be given the right to basically steer the proposed wards, their medical care, take care of their finances, because in a lot of cases, they may be susceptible to scamming or something of that nature.
Yeah. You mentioned the term guardian ad litem. A lot of people are familiar with that in divorce cases, but a guardian ad litem, I didn't realize, has a function as it relates to guardianship too.
Yes, it's very similar. Essentially, the guardian ad litem is a court-appointed kind of neutral arbiter who, like I said, goes into the home and sees what the ward's needs are. Right.
You mentioned that the judge relies very heavily on the evaluation of, say, a psychologist or maybe a doctor. Do you find that usually if you take all the right steps and you get a good assessment, that usually the judge is willing to go with the petition and grants the guardianship?
I would say yes. Absolutely.
If people are watching, who needs to think about guardianship? What type of person out there? Is it mainly parents?
I'd say it's about 50-50. We do a lot of guardianships at my firm involving people who are just about to turn 18, and we also do a lot of guardianships involving basically adult children coming in and saying, you know, I think my parents might need some help.
Yeah, aging parents where there's maybe memory issues or something like that, or care issues. Thank you so much for joining us today and talking to us about guardianship. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to make sure that you know that the McLario Firm offers free consultations. You can give them a call to find out more about guardianship. Here's the phone number. It's 262-251-4210, or for more information, you can visit McLario.com.